I reread Woody Klein's history of Westport, but found very little detail about the particular tribes that roamed this land. I did learn, as some of you may already know, that Saugatuck means something like mouth of the river, and that many of the tribes in these parts belong to the Paugussett Nation who lived here. And I read this, quote, "Bankside farmers, the first to settle the land which became Fairfield and Westport. Bankside farmers were reaping valuable crops. They owned slaves and had benefit of cheap Indian labor." I did a Google search next to learn more about the Paugussett Nation, but I found only this. Due to heavy population losses and aggressive colonial expansion, the Native American tribes of Connecticut were scattered, merged, and assimilated to such a degree that they lost their languages and much of their individual tribal character. The challenge with this particular broken relationship is that it's hard to know where to go to seek reconciliation. Jacob knew that his brother Esau waited for him just beyond the river for better or for worse, but it turns out that many of the tribes who lived in what is now Western Connecticut have perished, along with their languages and culture. And so it took God in the eyes of a Navajo pastor to call me to account. And it will take a good deal more reflecting on our part, and perhaps even a fair bit of wrestling, to sort out what it means to make amends. To be clear, we do have Native American neighbors in Connecticut, including two nationally recognized tribes, the Mashantucket Pequot Nation and the Mohican Nation. We might start there, by connecting with and listening to them. I also learned, when I got back to Westport, that our Westport Historical Society, which has just been renamed the Westport Museum for History and Culture, plans a major exhibit on local Native American history in 2020. So stay tuned. In case you are wondering, here's what happened the day after Jacob wrestled with the divine. He did meet Esau, and Esau welcomed him home with open arms. Who knows why it worked out that way? Whether Esau had long since done his own wrestling so that he was free to welcome his brother without bitterness, or whether he sized up his little brother as Jacob approached. Maybe Esau saw that limp and recognized it for what it was, a new humility, an honest wrestling with his transgressions, and a realization that we are all in need of forgiveness. It doesn't always go down that way. Not all relationships can be repaired. But I am struck by the assurance embedded in this story that when we do our own work, our own wrestling together, holding on and not letting go, when we come face to face with the ways that we have caused harm or been harmed, we also come face to face with the God of holy reunion. And so we may well be blessed and empowered to look in the eyes of those whom we have regarded as adversaries and finally see them as family instead. May it be so. Thanks be to God.